So good afternoon, everyone. So in the last class, we have discussed about what are the advantages of Google file system, what is a replica, how it is going to be store the data in multiple places. Everything we saw. Then we see some advantages and disadvantages of this Google file system. What are the advantages? It reduces the client's needs to interact with the master because read and write on the same chunk requires only one initial request to the master. So starting, you remember the diagram, only once the client is requesting the master is okay, then he is going to be create the data to one node. It may be a secondary node or something, ternary node, third one also. So one node is going to be create the data. The data is going to be transferred to the primary one. Have you remember the diagram in between? So three nodes we have. One node, the client is going to be create the data. Then other nodes with the through some controls, it is going to be transfer the data. That is multiple copies of data is going to be created. So that is one advantage here. And another advantage is since in a large chunk, we already know that what is the advantages of large chunk. So the client is more likely to perform many operations on given chunk. It can be reduce the network overhead by keeping the persistence TCP conjunction. What is the TCP conjunction? We heard the word TCP/IP, TCP/IP, and UDP networks. These are the connectionless and connection-oriented networks. So the network's conjunction will be reduced because of this, and the chunk servers over an extended period of time. So with a particular time, it is going to be performed on the chunks with a beautiful performance with a large. So it's reduced the size of the metadata stored on a master. This allows us to keep a metadata in memory, which turns bring other advantages also. We know that what is a metadata, data about data. So the connections between one node to another node, there is a large number of volumes. Already we know that there is our big data contains a large volume. So that's when we again the data need to keep track with the information again and again. So that's when these Google file system will be very advantageous. And here we have two more disadvantages also there. One is lazy space allocation. So this is the concept of paging. I asked you to yesterday to please go through the paging concept in operating system. Have you gone through that? What is the paging operations? Segmentations. So fragmentations. So these are the operating system concepts. What is the lazy space allocation? Once here the space is allocated, even though it is lesser than the actual size, so the remaining space will be a waste. So for this, I have given an example for array declaration programming wise, a normal fragmentation in system oriented. So I will show you one more these what is this fragmentation and everything. I have one more slide further. So I will show you that what is internal and external fragmentation. So these concepts we will learn in the paging concept in operating system. So if you want, you can remember. So once where you are reading this, you can go back to your paging concept in operating system. You can clearly know that. So even with a lazy space allocation, a file consists of a small number of chunks, perhaps just one. The chunk servers storing these chunks may become hotspot if many clients are accessing the same file. In practice, hotspots have not been a major issue because the applications are mostly read large multi-chunks file sequence to migrate it. The replications and allowance to read from other clients can be done. So whatever, so the client at the starting, the client is requesting a master. The master is going to be allocate the which access to the server, server 1 or server 2 or server 3. He has an authentication to give. So that's only the starting client is going to be request only once. That's why only in between may other clients may join. There is some little bit disadvantage we have available in this. So that's only that is the major advantages, disadvantages of this Google Files. So the starting onwards, we are going to be talking about this internal fragmentation. What is a fragmentation? I have one little bit slide. So by this, you need to understand what is that. If still you have any clarification, you can go through your operating system page in concept, and we will get clear about this. So what is this fragmentation? So what is a fragmentation? We have two types: internal and external fragmentation. So internal fragmentation means inside the file itself we have a free spaces. External spaces something. So see the diagram. You can see the diagram. By this diagram you can have a clear idea about what is internal and external fragmentation. So internal fragmentation is in between. For example, job A, job C, job there. We have various jobs are there. So in scheduling algorithms are there, no? Job A performing job B, job C. We have jobs. So like which is going to be performing on. So this is the page. So it we simply call it as a memory page. For example, it is something we have an operating system. Then job A performing something operation on the memory, and in between two files, job A performing say, two files. In between two files, we have a space. This space known as empty space. This is known as internal fragmentation. Again, the space between the two jobs, maybe the operating system to job and job to job, in between we have a space. This space known as external fragmentation. So how it will be defined, this internal fragmentation? Simple, I have one line definition. The internal fragmentation occurs when the memory allocator leaves an extra space empty inside a block of memory that was being allocated for a client. Even for example, job A is a one client. One client is going to be create a number of files. In between the files itself, we have an empty space. So that is the extra space is going to be. So that type of spaces are going to be a problem with this Google File system. So here we have an example also. When these occurs, the client needs to 57 bytes of memory. For example, it may need to allocate 60 bytes or even more 64 bytes. So how we are going to be divide the memory means it is order something order no 8 bytes 1 byte 2 byte. So it is not in the form of order of 57. For example, we are not going to be do the exact. So we are going to be allocate more. That is 64 and 60. I think these one you come across this page faults algorithms. We have page fault algorithms. I remember that. So in which job, in which memory place it is going to be allocated. We have FCFS, AJF. We have page fault algorithms, C-scan algorithms. I remember the algorithms. So please go through that algorithms. How these already allocated memories, how the process is going to be changed. First come first serve means even though there is a large space part is there, even though the small number of memory is going to be allocated the large. So that time, so more space is going to be empty. So that is these internal, these are the operating system concept. So please go through if you are not clear that. If you have any doubt, you can post the question. We will discuss. Then another concept, the second concept in Unit 2, the first concept is Google File System. If the Google File System, how we are going to be developed? So we have the concept of Hadoop distributed file system. Hadoop is a one platform where we can have this distributed file system. So what is this distributed file system? So Apache is providing this Hadoop tool. Hadoop distributed file system is a block structured file system, whereas files is divided into blocks of a predetermined size. We have some fixed determined size. We are going to be fix the file size into a divide. The blocks are going to be divided. So the data we are going to be divided in a fixed format. So again, please remember it is a block structured file system. These blocks are stored across a cluster of one or more several missions. I think still you have a doubt on what is a cluster. I think so. I think in data mining we will be get clear, even though, so again, one more time it is going to be inspected what is a cluster. So that's only in next upcoming slide I am going to be give a clear definition about what is cluster and how it is going to be happen. Don't worry at all. So these blocks are stored across the clusters and one or more several machines. So how it is the cluster means we have different nodes are there. We are going to be grouped into one pod. That pod. Please someone mute your mic. So Apache Hadoop architecture follows the master-slave architecture. So what is master-slave architecture? Have you heard this word master-slave architecture? The concept of CO, computer organization, you are learned this master-slave architecture. So where the clusters are comprised of a single node, name node, that is a master node, and all other nodes are slave nodes are the data nodes. So we are going to be learn about what is a name node and data node here. Not only these, in the syllabus you learn that what are the various Hadoop, what we will call it, building blocks of Hadoop. So these two are the building blocks of Hadoop only. So we will learn everything clearly here. So HDFs can deploy a broad spectrum of missions that supports Java. So that's why in the first unit we will discuss about Java how to do. So Hadoop it is a broad spectrum of mission. So one mission it supports a Java program. So through these ones we can run a several data nodes. Data nodes is nothing but slave nodes. We are going to be running slave nodes in a single mission. Both the practical world, these data nodes are spread across the various missions. So these are data nodes, that is the slave nodes, are going to be spread across the mission. So what is this? Okay, we talk about some distributed file system, Hadoop distributed file system. Before that, what is known as a distributed file system? What is distributed file system? So here we have distributed file system. File system data is stored on server. For that only, yesterday I gave an example how we are going to do the programming in Turbo-C and how we are going to do the programming in Linux. In Linux, we are going to do that time we are not going to be sitting in a single particular system. You can move across any system. You can log into your particular Windows number. You can go through it. But if you want to do the programs in the Turbo-C, definitely you want to sit in the previous what. If you want to need a previous files, definitely you want to sit in the same system in order to replicate, because thus programs are going to be stored in the local system only. In Linux operating system, we are going to be logging with the server, but the files all are going to be stored in the server. So we have seen here one single server with a multiple. So multiple servers are at a time they are going to be operating on one single server. So how, sir, what is a single server here again? How we are going to be selected? Everyone see that everyone is going to be logged into a particular only one IP address. Not everyone don't have a single IP address. Everyone is going to be logging with it. For example, SSH space IT A something number at the rate of 192.168 something number. So that is number is nothing but a server IP. So we are logged into that server. So all the data, all the clients, all the slave nodes, that is data nodes, are going to be send the request to the server. The server is responding to according to that. Sir, again, why we are saying that, sir, once they are logging around, so everyone is not going to be doing the same program. They can do the individual program. So that time, every time, so based upon the client's needs specification, for example, he is going to be store the file in the total root node, or else he is going to be create some directory in the root node. In the particular directory is going to be accessed and he can store. For example, he may retrieve the previous program what he lost. So everything is going to be done. So that is it. We have these DFS makes convenient to share the information files among the users on a network controlled by the authorized link. How is authorized means? You know the IP address, then we can have. So everyone Why we are giving that SSH space IT number 32 to 42? So that is your username. We are not giving, for example, we don't have 100. For example, IT 100 you. Can you log in it like that? No, because that node is not authenticated. Once your ITBs or ITA something is going to be login means that data was authenticated previously by the admin. Who the server is created, the server, these nodes all going to be stored. So that's why we cannot give a different name. They will say no, in the lab they will say that. So you can log in with the same pattern. You should not give a uppercase. You give only lowercase. You should not give any space. You can give only number after the IT only. Number IT after number only. You should not give start with the number. Something we have some specifications. That means in the server, the nodes were identified in the way that only you are going to be logging. So that is a simple way. That is the meaning of distributed file system. Here Hadoop we are going to be in a lab. Simply we have a maximum. We have a 60 members are going to be doing the lab. 60 members and 60 programs. It's a simple matter of doing these distributed systems. So how come these petabytes of data, zettabytes of data is going to be there in a big data? So how it is going to be handled? So have you seen the block diagram of Hadoop? That is the icon of Hadoop is an elephant. So tomorrow I will show you. Then I told you no. So sir, what is a clustering? I think I heard that what is clustering also. Somebody asked in the last previous classes. So that's why I came a picture into this. Cluster is the task of dividing the population or data points into a number of groups such that data points in the same groups are more similar to other data points. For example, in college we have 3,000 people are there, 3,000 students are there. If I want to make groups, how can first I can make those boys and girls divide separately. What is going to be happen? We have a whole group. We are going to be divided into two parts. How I am going to be make it two parts based upon one parameter I was taking based upon the gender. For example, I have one separate part. Even I want to make that one part, that is a male part or female part, into a different group. How can, for example, according to branch, you can divide the male students. So again, I can create 7 or 8 groups, maybe CSE, IT, ECE, or any MBA, NCR, various branches are there. According to the branch, I can again divide into them. Even if I can divide, so something parameter we need to define. So that's only the same groups are more similar data. So something similarity should be shown while we are going to be divide the data into different parts. So it is basically collection of objects on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities between them. Maybe we can do that with dissimilarity also. We can make the group based upon the user access, based upon the user need. So see that, for example, the data points in the graph below clustered together can be classified into one similar group. We can distinguish the cluster and we can identify these are 3 clusters in a given below picture. See, I will show you a picture. One picture, first one. See that first one. So we have a various nodes are there, data points. So something, for example, in between also we have a nodes also. Not at all a problem. So I am going to be group these into a one part and these into a one part and these into a one. How I am going to be make these clustering? These are the clusters. This concept is clustering. We done something operation the clustering. How I done these clustering is based on some similarities on these nodes. We can simply say that. So why this point is especially mentioned? Maybe you can say this x-axis and y-axis. So how can I mention this? For example, for these every node, nearly the x-axis some data is from 40 to 50 only. Now y-axis data from 70 to 80 only. If you consider this, maybe y-axis points are maybe 70 to 80, but x-axis points are maybe 10 to 20. If I mention like this, so that is the various levels. So I'm going to be do the groups. So here we have one more question we may ask you if you have a clear answer. So, sir, is that every time we need to make a spatial cluster? So that is it. If it is not necessary, clusters are to be a spatial. It may be like this also. So the thing is how we are going to be make the clustering means how we are going to be make these groups means based upon the nodes contain something similarities. Something similarities is going to be produced by each and every node. That nodes I am going to be making one group. That groups are known as a cluster. Are we clear with the concept of cluster? Please, can anyone respond? Then I can move to the our main topic of Hadoop. What is this building blocks of Hadoop? Anyone?
Sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. So this is a Hadoop distributed system. Hadoop distributed file system is a distributed file system running on commodity hardware. What is the meaning of commodity? So what is the meaning called commodity? What is the meaning called commodity? So basic needs, basic one. Commodity means so basic one. So in this word comes from the management word. That is commodity means basic needs something. Commodity means raw. It's a basic. So commodity hardware, unlike other the distributed systems, the HDFS is highly fault tolerant and designed using low cost hardware. Using low cost hardware. So in the previous we have systems, we have the systems are very high cost and we have a fault tolerance. So to overcome this, we were developed HDFS file systems. So HDFS holds a very large amount of data. So that is when it holds a large amount of data, it comes to our big data concept only. So when what is the big data means, it's going to be store the petabytes and petabytes of data is going to be. So if a large amount of data is going to be and provide easier access. That is the main intention. So I already told you we have a large amount of data. We have a zettabytes and petabytes of data is there. The data is there. Why? What is the use of this data? Without accessing, we need to access the data. So then only we can say that the data is useful to the users or useful to the class. So that is to store the such views data. The files are stored across a multiple machines. That's I already told you. Who is going to be create the data? Humans are going to be created. Humans are going to be created in singular data each and every time. No. Again, it is unstructured data. Different type of devices are going to be creates a different data. So every data is going to be stored. So that is a different multiple machines. These files are stored in a redundant fashion. Again, there is no particular fashion is going to be stored. Redundant fashion to rescue and to make that means if we are going to be stored a redundant fashion, maybe we have a chance of loss of data. That's why we need to rescue the system from the possible data losses. We need to save about the less loss of data in case of failure. So we need to each and every time we need to track with less number of data only. But simply we can data when maybe we done some cleaning on data or something we perform some data operations on these. We need a less cleaning only. 36, please mute your mic. Number 36, please mute your mic. So applications are available parallel processing also. So these HDFS also makes applications available to parallel processing. What is parallel? Serial means one after one. Parallel means one by one. If one is running, we can run another also the same way. So similar, we can do the parallel processing. So what are the features of these HDFS means? It is suitable for distributed storage and processing. Okay, even so why it is called means we already said that what is a distributed means we have different clients are creating a data, it's going to be stored in one place, that is the server is going to be stored. So here also different types of missions are going to be create the data. The data is going to be stored in one place. So that is a big data. Again, it is suitable for distributed storage and processing. Hadoop provides command interface to interact with the HDFS. Hadoop is a software like platform which provides the distributed file systems also. And it has a built-in servers like a name node and data nodes helps to. What is a name node and data node? Another names. A name node is called a master node and data node are called a slave. So users helps to easier to check the status of clusters. So how these nodes are going to be clustered based upon who is going to be take care about this node clustering everything. The streaming access to file system data. Streaming means continuous data should be provided. Then HDFS provides the file permissions and authentication. So here also who is going to be a particular authentications and particular authentications are there. Those are only going to be create the data. Others are not going to be access this. So definitely they need some grants to access all those things. These grants and permissions, everything you have learned in the database management system. So grant, permission. So we heard the words. I think so. We are going to be appending the rows and columns, or we are going to be joins, disjoins. So we need some permissions to access the table. So we are going to be get some alerts. Your grants are accessed, your grants are denied, everything like here also we are going to do. This is the general view of if a name node are there, data nodes are commodity hardware where we are going to be produce the data. The name node is a master node and these data nodes are a slave nodes. This is outlook. But inside what are the different parts means? So this is the inner view of this Hadoop architecture. What is this? We have a name node. A name node, we have a metadata, names and replicas. We have a replicas information also here. And the client, we have a data nodes. Each nodes are in there. Read and write operations are going to be. Once, so read is going to be performed and write is going to perform. Once the node is going to be created and write is done, then it is automatically creating the replicas. So again, we will very clear about these replicas. We have a beautiful diagram for this also later PPT. So don't worry about. So once we write the data, then we are going to be create some replications in data node. So these data nodes are these are the rack 1 and the rack 2. So rack 1 is going to be create and rack 2 is going to be create for duplications. That is the concept of replications. So again, we are going to be deal with all about the metadata concept. So what is here the blocks, these name node and data node, everything are the building blocks of these Hadoop system. So that we will discuss each and everything. So the first one is about name node. What is the name node? Name node is the master node in the Apache Hadoop architecture that maintains and manages the blocks present on the data node. Data node we already said that it is a slave node. So we have simply we can say the client nodes. The client nodes are going to be read and write. So it manages the present blocks present in the data nodes. So that's only. So I will give 1 minute time to please draw at least overall picture. So once I am going to be explain that how these data nodes and name nodes are going to be interact and what is the read and write operations. So if you have, I will give 1 minute time. Please draw it fastly. In order to that, we can, when we are go through in depth, so what is data node, name node, how the transactions, that is associations is going to be. So read and write operations. and metadata operations and blocks operations. And metadata we have a names and replicas and home. This is what is the meaning of this one. Home slash food slash data. This is the functions, everything. This is the directories. So through this directory we are going to be identify the node. So if we explain all the terminologies in the Hadoop architecture, then that are the calls of the building blocks of Hadoop system. Building blocks of Hadoop system. My voice is clear. If if you have a less voice, you can tell me. I will increase my voice again. No problem. Okay, I'm going to remove this event only. So the second one is a name node is a very highly available on server that manages the file system namespaces and control access to the files by clients. The Hadoop architecture is built in such a way that the user data never resides on the name node. So user data is not going to be just the name nodes. Again, we can call it master means the name node is going to be gives permission to read and write operations for the data node. Somebody is still making some disturbance in the class. Something is going to be. 1 second, I will start sharing my screen. The HDFS architecture is built in such a way that the user data never resides on the name node. So only it's going to be stored directly. It is not going to be depend upon the master. That is a name node going to be. The data resides on data nodes only. The data is going to be stored in the data nodes only. Just the name node is going to be gives the permissions. Whether we need to write or read or everything is going to be controlled. Whether the person is going to be write the data. The name node is going to be checked whether the person is authenticated or not. So that authentication levels only it is going to be checked by the name node. The total data is resides on the data nodes only. So this is the simple inner view of this data node, how the data node. So data node is there. The client is going to be request whether the metadata operation. Then we have something. So this is nothing but we have a directory to create the data. Then blocks of data is there. We are going to be read it, and the client is again is going to be write it here, and maybe you write it here. The rack 1 and rack 2. So these are the data nodes. Data nodes we have a different blocks of data is available. So name node just gives the information about what type of means whether the client is authenticated or not. He can perform what are the operations he can perform. That only he can do that. So everything data is going to be present on the data nodes. These blocks is known as a data. So we have rack 1, rack 2. Like that we have so many racks are available. So how these racks and what is this replication? I will show you how it will be create the replication in upcoming slides. See this this is the overview of this name node. Name node is going to be used privileges or authentication to the data nodes. Name nodes contains only the authentication levels only. The data is going to be contained in data nodes only. So these are the on the data nodes it's going to be perform read and write operations. So various racks it's going to be store the data. Once it is going to be stored, it's going to be create the replications. So then what is the functions of this name node? It is the master. We already said that the name node is a master node. It maintains and manages the data nodes. So I told you again, it's going to be maintained. Maintained means how it will be maintained. It is not going to be getting the unauthorized users. It's going to be maintained for only authorized users to manage, authorized users to create and write and read and operations and performing on the data nodes. So that is it. managing and maintenance only it is done. The creation of data is going to be a part of data nodes. So it records the metadata of all the file records into a cluster. Example, the location of block stored, the size of the file, and permissions, hierarchy. What is hierarchy? Hierarchical way. So simply we can say that tree structure. In directories we can use what is the root node, what is the sub root node, sub node, sub node, sub node. Still we are going to be going to the leaf node once we get the data point. So that is the hierarchy. Etc. There are two files associated with the metadata, fs image and edit logs. What it both means? It contains the complete state of the file system namespace since it's the start of the main node. And the edit log is it contains all the recent modifications made with the system with respect to the most recent fs image. So we already said that the Google is going to be take a snapshot of records of data. So we will create some pictures of data is going to be created. Same thing here we have two functions of this metadata is name node. One is fs image, another one is edit image. The fs image means it is a complete state of the file system namespace since the starting of the name node. So starting onwards, what is the complete picture is there. And edit logs means in the name itself there edits what are the modification is done and what time it is done the modification, everything is recorded. This is the functionalities of the name node. And it is also record the each change that the task placed to the file system metadata. For example, if the file is deleted in HDFS, the name node will immediately record these in the edit logs. Something simply once we have done any modification on files, simply we will do. For example, we open one Word file. So once we created that, it is going to be in a status bar. It shows what is the type of file. In downside, we have a status bar. No? In status bar, what is the type of data, who is the author of that, and at what time is created, with the time, everything. Once you were something edit on that file, again you start saving. Again, the status is going to be changed when it is edit, when it is done modifications. Once we have a permissions, everything. Once we open all the properties, we have the system. So how many times it was opened, how many times it was edited, how much data each and every time is going to be added, what is the starting of the file data, what is the edit, once first edit after what is the size, second edit what is the size, everything this edit log. What is the simply meaning log means? Information, one after one information about when the changes was made with the file, everything is going to be. Then regularly receives the heartbeat. You already heard this word. What is the heartbeat? Where they are going to be send the heartbeat messages to in order to monitor each and every node in the client. Every node in the server, the client gets the heartbeat messages from the server. In the last Google file system also we heard that word, heartbeat messages. So block reports from all the data nodes in the cluster to ensure the data nodes are live or not. So whether the data nodes are there, the data nodes are created, whether the data contains or not. For example, simple, we are going to be create one file, empty file. Right click, we are going to be creating new folder. If the folder is created, definitely it has some path or some directory there. How we can know that the folder or file contains the data? We need to go in depth whether it is going to be root node to next file name, file name, file name. So finally we have whether the node is live, whether it is contains data or not. So these are regularly it will check. So why we need to check means again, instead of creating an empty folder, what is the need? Nothing is there. So that is the meaning. Every time it is going to be check the messages. So every time it's check whether the data is present or not. If not, it is going to be retrieve that file and we need to insert a file, or if no longer use that file, it is going to be deleted. It's a simple concept. It keeps a record of all the blocks in the HDFS, and in which the nodes these blocks are located. So it will give the information about where it is located also. The information location also it contains. That is why I told you that the name node, it will shows only maintenance and manages the data nodes. So maintenance manages means these are the functions it can do. The name nodes also responsible to take care about the replication factor. So how many times it was duplication was happened. Everything is going to be monitored and recorded. All of these blocks we discuss in details in this tutorial block. Then in case of data node failure, so it is also, so just I already told that name node party is going to be monitor the data nodes. So when it is failure, name node choose a new data nodes or new replicas, blanks, disks, uses, and manage the communication traffic between the data nodes. So why it is again the traffic happened in between the data nodes means we are going to be create the duplication. Once the file is created, we are going to be created 2 more files in a different places, different locations also. That is not in the same place. It is a different location. That's why if for that I asked you yesterday question. If the Google server fails, what is going to be happen? That's why once we are going to be store the data in the Google server, so that is in Google. Simply we can talk. This is something stored in Google. Automatically that data is going to be replication by 2 different places with the 2 different locations, not in the same location. Simple example. For example, we need to keep the money safe. What we going to do? Everything we will keep in one place. If the stolen is happened, what is going to be total amount is lost. If not like that, we are going to be keep the amount in different places. What is going to be happen? If one place money is lost, also we can use another money. So simple in our forefathers will tell no. Don't keep all the money in one single pocket. We can distribute the data in a different. That is, distribute your money into different pockets. If one pocket money also lost, you can have a remaining all other pockets money you can use. So that is the same concept over here. Meaning of replica. So creation of duplications. So why these distributed system came into picture means if the nodes are going to be failure. If my particular PC, my particular laptop, my particular mobile is going to be lost, something problem it expires, it gets damaged. So what happened with my data? So in order to rectify, in order to get back my data, we'll have these type of distributed files. So the next one is about data nodes. We already said that data nodes are the slave nodes. What it is going to be? It is going to be work on the data. That is data blocks it is going to be work. Data nodes are the slave nodes in the HDFS, unlike the name nodes. Data nodes is a commodity of hardware that are non-expensive system which is a not of high quality or high availability. The data nodes are block servers that stores the data in a local file system in one or two systems. For example, one in 3 or 4. For example, we already said that once we create a data, it's going to be distributed to two other places in a different locations. The same is going to be created. This is a simple meaning of how we are going to be create the replicas. For data nodes, we have a diagram. In that we will show that what is that. So again, what is the functions of these data nodes? These nodes are daemons or which runs on each slave mission. So each slave mission, each data node, how it is going to be demonstrated and process the data. There we are going to be talking about the name node. We are talking about the maintenance and manages. Here we are going to be talking about what is the process of data. The actual data is stored on data node. So there we said that we are not going to be deal with the data. Data is going to be a part of only data nodes. That point again. The data nodes are performing the low-level reads and write requests from the file systems clients. So what the operations we can perform again here means read and write operations perform. That is we can process here. They can send again sending a heartbeat messages to the name node periodically to report the overall health of HDFS. By default, it is frequently set to a 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds, it's going to be sending the information what the changes was happened, how the data is periodically running, and reading and writing is going to be happen. Everything is going to be monitored with the set of every 3 seconds. Till now, we must have realized that the name node is a pretty much important to us. If it is false, we are demo. But don't worry about, we are still taking about Hadoop solving a single point of failure system problem. The next Apache Hadoop system architecture. So in the next thing we can see that. So that is just relax so far. We will take a step time. So now I will show you that another node. So I ask you to, I will show the diagram. So this is the, so it is a very bad version. So we just simply see that block overall this mention how this. So in a block one in 3 places, say we may have a node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, different nodes are there. But once the block is created, how many blocks are there? 5 blocks are there. In node 1, node 2, node 3 are the different locations. So once block 1 is created, definitely in the block 2 it is going to be have a replication. So here we have a replication and here we have, but here we don't have, only 3 pieces. Then block 2 here and the block 5 here and block 4 here. So based upon the availability, how it is going to be means, again the client is going to be request to the master. Here we have data nodes. Data is going to be created client. The data nodes is oftenly sending to the heartbeat message to the name node. So where I have to store it, where I have to store it. So these maintenance, everything is going to be done by the name node. So inside the data part is going to be take care about the data. So that is then another block of this Hadoop system is secondary name node. So we have a name node, another secondary. As part of these two demons, there are the third demon or the process is called secondary. So we have first one is about name node, second one is a data node. The third one is a secondary name node. What is the use of the secondary name node? The secondary name node works concurrently with the primary name node as a helper of daemon. So it is going to be help to the name node and does not confuse with the second name node being a backup of name node is not. We are not going to be, sorry, so far we saw about the data going to be created, then the replication is going to be happen. So if it is called a secondary name node, is that a backup of the name node? It is not like that. It is simply going to be create. It is going to be help to the name node. So see that here we have a name node. So queries for edit log. What name node will do? So we already got something, some edition, maintenance and manage. So while managing these data nodes, the name node gets the help from the secondary name node. So you see here FS message and edit logs is there. No? So these two are going to be performed. So FS image, once the node is going to be created, if the copy is going to be created, then the node. Just it is going to be help to the main node. So manage and maintenance, it is going to be helpful. The functions of the secondary name node. So we will stop here and we will discuss in the next class. So please be remember up to the functions of secondary. Okay. Still you have any doubt, you can ask me. Let me, I will clarify you. So please tell me if you have any doubts. Let me, I will clarify 1 or 2 minutes. So either we don't have a next class now, but we can take 2 or 3 minutes now. Is there any queries? Please Please go through the concept of operating system paging concept and distributed file size. And if you have time, you can refer the page fault algorithms. We have 4 or 5 page fault algorithms out there. You can refer the page fault algorithms. You can know about something, how these memory allocation to the various pages. By that only you can know that internal and external fragmentation is very good. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.